There folks, good afternoon. Just checking in here on the channel. April 19th, 2021 to date, 2:02 p.m. West Coast time in California. Earthmaster here, back in the earthquake department. Appreciate Missy Mimi's for doing an update video for me and taking care of things when I am away. Gonna do a quick update video, folks. A little bit of movement along the West Coast of California, kind of within my vicinity. While not a big quake, this 4-pointer struck in Northern California region. Let's go ahead and bring this into view a little bit. I believe originally a 4.1, downgraded to a 4.0, south of a region where we see a very active scenario when it comes to geyser activity. So just kind of keep an eye on this region pretty closely. I do have my nephew here, so we're kind of just doing a quick update. I got to show you all magnitudes here real quick and show you the region where this earthquake activity struck. This is all geysers, all completely geysers within this region of Northern California here in the coast range of Northern California, right? It sits inland onto the North American plate. The plate boundary is this solid red line here indicating the San Andreas Fault. Separation of the Pacific Plate to the west and North American Plate to the east. There are numerous fault systems obviously within the vicinity of the North American Plate here, all up along Clear Lake region, Mount Konocti. There's an old volcano in this region, Mount Konocti of course, but there is still activity going on down below, and the signs of it are geysers, hot springs, all sorts of stuff, right? Can show signs of volcanic activity, and this geyser activity is normal and very, very typical on any given day. In fact, 56 earthquakes in the last 24 hours is actually a little bit below average when it comes to daily movement here at the geysers in Northern California. The 4-pointer, it's kind of a little bit bigger than the typical microquakes that we see in this region. That 4-pointer struck at 2.8 kilometers below surface. 4-pointer, that's right. Hopefully I didn't say 2-pointer. I'm still a little bit tired from the road trip. We'll discuss that a little bit further on in a different update. But this 4-pointer struck within the vicinity of the geysers, and that's very typical movement in this region. It's not along the San Andreas Fault. In fact, it's just it's got to do with the hydrothermal activity that's going on below the surface. There is a little fault structure up there, here and there around the region, but just it's within that region of your typical swarming of earthquakes around the geysers. Very, very normal. There is some heightened activity though along the Pacific Plate boundary, along the San Francisco region. Kind of seeing an increase there. 1906, right? The big earthquake back then. Yeah, I'll be right there. 1 second. Some movement along the San Andreas Fault around the San Francisco Bay Area, a 2.4 near Colma, and also some deeper movement inland there. Gonna have to keep an eye on this area, about 13 kilometers below surface near San Francisco along the San Andreas Fault system. So yeah, we just gotta, I think we're kind of looking at a period of a bounce back effect again, back out here to the West Coast. We have seen some movement near Japan yesterday. A little bit of further activity to the north. No major release of pressure in this region yet. I'm still anticipating significant earthquake in this area of the plate boundary of the Pacific Plate soon. It's just been a couple 4s and a little hit and miss earthquakes here and there, and then the pressure transfers back over here to the east. Of course, there's all other areas that it does affect, but I noticed significantly when we look at quiet spells here, we see an uptick in the West Coast and also North American region over here, and that's kind of what we're looking at today. We'll do a little bit further update video, folks. South America kicking up a little bit as well. We're looking at some movement down here along the subduction zone north here, north in Chile, 4.4. There is some significant movement taking place here. A little cluster of quakes we're watching at about 10 kilometers. Backed up here in the locked section of the Peru-Chile Trench. Now, when we see movement like this right here is very typical of a precursor of potentially a much larger earthquake. In fact, that's the region where the world's largest earthquake struck back in 1964, I believe. I'm going to have to remember my dates, right? 62 or 64, somewhere around there. That big old 9-pointer, 9.2, 9.3. I can't remember exactly, but it was the world's largest recorded earthquake. So pay close attention to this region. It's in the cluster. It looks like about 10 kilometers below surface. Back up surface here, this is not subduction quakes. Those would be much deeper and inland, kind of what we're seeing up here to the north. Like that one. That was 121 kilometers. But this movement is right up there at the right where it starts to subduct there, the trench region, and this here could produce a significant quake, folks. When we see when we look at all this these fives, there's what do we got there? 4 or 5 pointers and two 4s, and I'm sure much more. Really hasn't been a main quake, so let's watch this area pretty closely for possible significant movement here soon, very soon. All right, folks, gonna jump off here. I'll do an update a little bit later on, provided that larger quake does not strike anytime soon. In the meantime, have a good day, folks. We'll chat you guys a little bit later tonight with the update video. Peace.